Over 1,600 people have gone missing inside U.S. national parks in the last 20 years. Most are found, some aren't, and a handful left something behind before they vanished. Footage that raises more questions than it answers. The National Park Service covers 85 million acres of land. Forests, canyons, mountains, swamps. Most of it has no cell coverage, no surveillance cameras, no witnesses. When someone disappears in that environment, the investigation is, by necessity, incomplete. David Politis, a former police detective, has spent over a decade documenting cases of people who vanished in national parks under circumstances that search and rescue professionals describe as, quote, not consistent with typical lost hiker scenarios. Bodies found miles from where they went missing. Clothes removed in freezing temperatures. No tracks. No scent trail for dogs. And in 5 of those cases, 5 that Politis himself has not covered publicly, the missing person left video footage before they disappeared. Tonight, we look at those 5. In June 2018, a solo hiker, an amateur filmmaker named Derek, he had about 800 subscribers on YouTube, mostly trail content, posted a 22-minute vlog from the backcountry zone of Yosemite National Park. The footage is ordinary for the first 19 minutes, beautiful even. Then, at the 1947 mark, he stops walking and points the camera at a boulder formation to his left. He doesn't say anything for 11 seconds. Then, that was here yesterday, in a different place. He kept hiking. He uploaded the video when he reached cell coverage at the trailhead. He never made it back to his car. Rangers found his backpack 3 miles off the registered trail, contents undisturbed, including his car keys and $240 in cash. His camera was not found. His YouTube channel was last active the day he uploaded that video. The comment section still has people asking if he's okay. Nobody has answered them. That was 6 years ago. The Boundary Waters Canoe Area in northern Minnesota is one of the most remote wilderness zones in the contiguous United States. 1 million acres, no motorized vehicles, no roads past the entry points. If something happens to you out there, help is hours away. Minimum. In August 2020, a group of 4 college friends from the University of Wisconsin posted nightly video logs from a 10-day canoe trip into the Boundary Waters. The first 7 days are normal: campfire footage, portage routes, fishing. On day 8, the tone changes. The group is quieter. One of the members, a woman named Rachel, keeps glancing off camera to her right throughout the entire 14-minute vlog. Nobody acknowledges it. Nobody explains it. On day 9, they posted a 47-second clip, just Rachel, alone in the canoe, paddling. She doesn't speak. She doesn't look at the camera. At the end of the clip, she turns and stares directly into the lens for 4 seconds. Then the video ends. They were reported missing on day 11 when they failed to exit at the designated pickup point. 3 of the 4 were found 2 days later, 18 miles from their last known campsite, suffering from severe dehydration and hypothermia. They have never publicly discussed what happened. Rachel was not with them. The Great Smoky Mountains is the most visited national park in the United States. Over 12 million visitors per year. It also has one of the highest rates of unexplained disappearances per visitor of any park in the eastern U.S. In October 2019, a retired school teacher named Gerald was hiking a popular trail near Klingman's Dome, the highest point in the park, when he began recording what he described in the audio as the strangest fog I've ever seen in 30 years of hiking these mountains. The footage shows a dense white mist rolling in from a specific direction, not from the valley below, as fog typically does in the Smokies, but from the tree line at the same elevation as the trail. In the audio, Gerald can be heard saying, "It's not moving like weather, it's moving like it knows where I am." He kept the camera running for 6 more minutes as the fog surrounded him completely. The recording ends mid-sentence. His body was found 4 days later, 2 miles off the trail, in a dry creek bed. The medical examiner's report listed cause of death as cardiac event. Gerald had no documented heart condition. He was 58 years old and completed 3 half marathons in the 2 years before his death. His son, who reviewed the footage, said one section of the recording, approximately 40 seconds in the middle, appears to have been recorded in a different location entirely, with different ambient sound and different light quality. He doesn't know how. Glacier National Park in Montana sits on the US-Canada border. It's called the crown of the continent. Over 1 million acres of wilderness, grizzly bears, mountain goats, and terrain that hasn't changed since the last ice age. In July 2021, a family of 5, parents and 3 teenagers, set up a backcountry campsite in a designated area and went to sleep. The father had set up a trail camera on a tree facing the camp, standard practice for wildlife monitoring. The next morning, the family was gone. Not missing, they were found 12 hours later at a ranger station 9 miles from their campsite, with no memory of how they got there. All 5 of them. No memory of leaving. No memory of the 9-mile hike through technical terrain. The mother had a sprained ankle that the ranger station medic said was consistent with a fall on rocky ground, but none of them remembered falling. The trail camera footage from that night covers 7 hours. For the first 4 hours, normal. The family asleep, wind in the trees, one grizzly passing 40 yards from the camp at 2 a.m. It stops, looks directly at the camera, and moves on. Then, at 3:17 a.m., the footage becomes corrupted, not blank, corrupted. Fragmented frames, wrong colors, geometric shapes that don't correspond to anything in the environment. This lasts for 2 hours and 43 minutes. At 6 a.m. exactly, the footage resumes, normal quality, normal color, and the camp is empty. Gear untouched, fire out, the family gone. Everything I've told you so far involves civilians, people who were out of their element, far from help, in unfamiliar terrain. This last case is different. This one involves a 14-year veteran of the National Park Service, a ranger, someone trained specifically to operate in that environment, someone who knows exactly what belongs in a national park and what doesn't. In February 2023, a ranger stationed at the Grand Canyon's North Rim, the remote, largely unvisited side, was conducting a solo patrol in an area of the canyon that had been flagged for unusual animal behavior. Rangers in the area had reported that wildlife, specifically mule deer, had been avoiding a specific section of the North Rim corridor for several weeks. No explanation, no predator activity, no environmental hazard identified. The ranger brought a body cam and a personal phone as backup. The body cam footage covers 4 hours and 12 minutes of patrol. At the 2:47 mark, the ranger stops and says very quietly, "There's something wrong with the sound." The audio on the body cam cuts out completely for the next 19 minutes. Visual continues. The ranger keeps walking, keeps looking around, clearly hearing something the camera is not capturing. At the 3:06 mark, the ranger stops, faces a particular section of the canyon wall, and does not move for 11 minutes and 38 seconds. Eyes open, body still, like he's listening to something or waiting for something. At the 3:17 mark, he begins walking back toward the trailhead in the wrong direction. He corrects himself after 200 yards. He filed a report upon returning. The report has been formally classified as a law enforcement sensitive document under NPS internal policy, which means it cannot be obtained through standard FOIA requests. We filed anyway. Denied. What we do have is a statement from a second ranger who debriefed him that evening. He said he heard something that made language sound wrong. I don't know what that means. He couldn't explain it either. 5 parks, 5 incidents, 5 times that something in the American wilderness made someone, a vlogger, a group of college students, a retired teacher, an entire family, and a 14-year veteran of the National Park Service, unable to explain what happened to them. The parks are still open. People are in them right now. If you've experienced something in a national park that you couldn't explain, something you've never told anyone, the comment section is below. We read everything. Subscribe if you want to keep going down this road. The next video is going to be harder to explain than this one.